Do we have to vote to bring the meeting into session?
No, you just call it to order.
All right, so I'm going to call the meeting to order, and then we're going to look for an approval of the minutes. So if we want to take just a minute to look those minutes over, and I'll entertain a motion from someone.
Do you have to officially do a roll call, or is that not a big deal? Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve
been a
the
while.
minute.
Sorry, hold on to that just 1 second. We're gonna do a quick roll call.
Oh, okay.
Let's skip a few of these.
It was quicker that way.
Frank,
Here.
Supervisor Begay, Lisa,
Here.
Catherine,
Here.
Katie.
Here, and heads up, I am in Florida, so if I dip out, then it's because I have no signal or my kid through my phone.
Okay.
That works.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go to public participation, and I don't think I see any members of the public. So let's move on to approval of the minutes. So if we're going to take a minute and look those over, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the May meeting.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll need a second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, hearing none, that motion is approved. So we have minutes from the last meeting. So communication and disclosures from board liaisons and staff.
Is that a place to ask questions or something? Or to give information?
If you have something, it's kind of just anything you want to share that's maybe not on the agenda, that's, kind of announcement-y, not something we'll discuss as a board.
Okay. I guess I can ask my question when the meeting's over.
Well, just, go ahead.
I was at my book group and people were talking about this book and they were talking about how much they liked listening to it online. And some people were talking about getting it from Libby and other places. And somebody said, how come when I do interlibrary loan, here's the list of the places they get books from. And they listed, different counties, libraries, and Tempe, but not Phoenix. Why is Phoenix not a place that people can get?
We could look into that and get back to you, but my understanding is we have preferences, but we might get interlibrary loans from anywhere.
But are we
Out of state
specifically
or-
talking e-materials?
I'm not sure, and I guess I can find out, but they were saying, all these other libraries, a lot of them don't have the things that I'm looking for, and presumably Phoenix would. And I said, well, I'm a library board online, and if not, I can definitely contact the person in the group who brought it up and ask if it was e-materials or.
Do that and just shoot me an email and I'll look into it for you.
Yeah, because they were like, is it like a money thing, like it costs too much to get Phoenix involved, or, and I'm like, maybe, I don't know.
If it's a physical ILL book, it can come from the Phoenix Public Library. If it's an e-material, then it's about what other libraries have signed up to be part of the Libby consortium.
Okay,
So Phoenix might just not have opted into that.
okay. I will.
If it's e-material.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to ask them further questions. Thank you.
Is there anything regarding the book sale we need to talk about before we move on to the rest of the agenda? Is everything in good shape for that?
Actually, the book sale has many fewer items than it has had in the past, and the friends actually talked about whether to have it this year. But they did decide to go ahead, and one of the things that they've done is, in the past, they have not been selling items that were deselected from the collection, and they're gonna start doing that again. Most friends groups do sell those deselected items, and so I think they do have more now. So that's about the only update I have on that they're gonna go ahead with it, but they didn't have as much inventory as they were used to having.
Can we donate books for that? Or is
Yeah,
that-
well, that's what they've been going off of, were donations to the library, but they can also do the deselected books, the ones we
My
take
friend
another
just brought me
collection.
a box of books and said, you and Joe read the ones you want, and what you don't want, donate to the library, so maybe I gotta look through it really fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. So we have the reports and discussion items next. So Linda, we'll start with you.
Okay. So you'll notice that the report is rather extensive, and that is partly because we didn't end up meeting in June, so we've included that report. And I also just want to give credit to Amelia because I was gone and she worked on that report. So it looks like my work, but it's not. So thank you. August was my work, but and one other thing about the report before I just get into my highlights is I am wondering how this group feels about us not making printed copies in the future and kind of conserving paper and ink. And I don't know how people feel about that though, if you don't want to have to bring a device. I just wanted to bring it up because I know that some places do that, they just don't make the printed copies, so I thought I would at least bring it up.
I'm okay bringing my laptop.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I
Can I
usually
help
read
out?
in the morning before I come, so.
Okay. All right, so I'm hearing that we don't necessarily need the printed copies.
If we're zooming in hybrid, then we're on a computer, so we're
Right.
always read the paper.
I don't need the minutes, the minutes from the previous, we're talking about cutting back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just think it saves resources, saves Amelia's time, and unless people really like it, and we can definitely do it, keep doing it. So I just want to bring that up.
I mean, I think if anybody really wanted a printed copy, they could print their own and still save
Mhm.
most of the paper and the library's resources, just my opinion.
Okay. Thank you. I do have one announcement, and that is that our Deputy Director over City Services, which is what Richard Tutwiler used to be, the position has been accepted, and Jennifer Stassinopoulos is going to start on September 30th,
Oh, good.
and she's coming from Wisconsin,
Wow.
so.
That's awesome.
All I have to do is learn to spell her name, and I'm sure I got it wrong in my notes, but I'm gonna learn. So, really excited about that. She brings some great background. I mean, she's been a public library director, she's been a school librarian, and she's been an educator, and,
Good.
so pretty excited that she's gonna be coming. And then I'll just move into my highlights. I'm gonna try to make this rather brief, since we started a little later than expected, and we also have two great presentations, and I don't want to cut them short on time if I can help it that much. Right. Take a quick look here at the things I wanted to bring up, and of course I'm happy to answer questions too if there are any questions that come up. I thought I highlighted that. All right. Guess I didn't. Get to my highlights here. Here we go. Oh yeah, here it is. So we did participate in the Pride Parade, and we had a nice turnout of staff that participated. And then also we're at the festival, making library cards, giving out free books, and coordinating a collaborative art piece, story times, and more. Did you go to that? Were you part of that this year?
For the parade,
Okay,
but not
yeah.
at the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I wanted to highlight. And then, I don't know how many of you had a chance to read through, but if you go to the page with the photo of the dinosaur,
Is that July or
this
August?
is a really fun, I think this moves into,
July.
oh, this says July, yeah. And we were actually gonna add page numbers to this and make it a lot easier next time. So I can tell you what page. But anyway, so the story is, a kid from out of town left this cherished stuffed animal at the East Flagstaff Library. And so a couple of staff, Starla and Nick Roman, when the parents contacted them, decided to take some photos of stuffed animal reading a book about dinosaurs
Yeah.
and sent them to the kid, as well as sent the stuffed animal back. So
Right.
oh my God. So that was just a super fun story, and not one that we hear every time in a meeting. So, and then just some comments on the July stats. We were up by 4% at the downtown library in the number of items checked out, and up by 20% in terms of the number of people who came into the building. So all good numbers, and I think you commented on how many people were in here.
Yeah.
And yeah, people love and use these libraries. And also, I noted Tuba City had some bigger numbers than usual. I noticed that their circulation or checkout of materials was up 28%. And their door count or visits to the library were up 104%. And I don't know if that some of that was the summer reading program that Damaris got started there, but Damaris, do you have any other insights? Are there any other reasons Tuba City's numbers went up so much in July?
I might jump in while Damaris is unmuting. I think last year around this time, they were closed off and on because of COVID still.
Okay. Okay, so that was one of the reasons.
I mean,
There.
Yeah, thanks for offering that, because I didn't remember that one.
Yeah, yes, that and the summer reading program was wildly successful. So next year we hope it'll be even better.
So that was really cool. Youth services here at downtown had over 1,600 participants who attended the July Summer Reading Challenge programs. Very nice number. There's so many things this time. I had a hard time picking out things I should highlight. So please, if you have a chance, look through everything. East Flagstaff had an interesting crafts program where they made nature mandalas using local flora. So
Yeah, that looked good.
that was really, I thought, fun, and I think the staff put in a lot of work in advance to collect everything that was needed. So I think they described it as time-consuming but worth it. So that's pretty neat and also unique program.
Is that the first time they've done that?
I don't know.
If so, it means the next time will be easier, hopefully for me.
Oh, right, yeah, once you get your system down.
Yeah.
And then I also just wanted to mention, we already alluded to a little bit, Tuba City had a summer reading program this year that was popular. Forest Lakes had 35 kids register and 16 finished, which if you've ever been there, it's really tiny. So that's like our 1,600, I think. Wow. That's pretty good. Grand Canyon Library had summer 32 participants, and it was the first time they'd offered summer reading for 4 years. So very nice to have that back and up and running for that community. Also wanted to just make the board aware that we did receive information from Supervisor Horstman that she received some complaints about what she thought was a program at the Grand Canyon Library, but actually wasn't. So there were a couple of teenagers who had book reading they wanted to do, or a book club, I guess, and they were using Brave Books, which is a conservative Christian publisher. And so that occurred, and we were able to determine that, this was some kids using the library. It was not a library program. And Damaris actually got in touch with Daniel, the manager up there, and he was able to talk to the girls and say, look, you can't make this look like a library program. It's not a library program.
But they were allowed to use the space?
Well, one thing is the Grand Canyon Library doesn't even have a meeting room. So this was people that were just in the main area. And so, yeah, I mean, I think based on our policies and the Library Bill of Rights, we don't go around and say, hey, what are you reading to this person or that person? So that was the situation, but I wanted the board to definitely know about that in case you get any questions or.
Was the complaint about the type of book it was?
Yes, because it was, the title of, it's here in your.
Right.
The title is Elephants Are Not Birds, and it deals with gender identity. From that perspective, it's a conservative Christian publisher, so.
Interesting.
So bottom line, it's okay for them to meet and talk in the public space, but they can't say the library is sponsoring it, or, okay.
Right, they can't call it story time for one thing, because that's like a
The
library
name of the
brand, a
thing,
library
too.
product,
Right.
and we don't wanna have that confusion about something
That
being a
makes sense.
story time that's not a story time. And Damaris also told them that they had made a little flyer, and she also told them they needed to indicate on there that that was not a library program. So. And then that's pretty much the main items. I love the photos of the Tuba City kids on the very, near the last page, who received certificates for completing the summer reading. And that was actually also, I don't know if I brought it with me. Yeah, that was also in the Navajo Hopi Observer.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll pass it around if you guys wanna see it. Sorry
Oh,
for
nice.
people online, I didn't send that in advance, but.
I had a question, like, where
That's awesome.
is this, is this like behind the scenes, like
Yes,
staff?
yeah, if you went back through this door all the way back, that's the technical services
Oh,
division. So
okay.
that's where items are received and cataloged and processed, and I think definitely have a more efficient use of that space, because before, the middle of the room really wasn't being used. So I think now it's much more well organized and better utilization of space.
And if anyone's interested in touring that, I'm happy to take the board back to view it.
Yeah, especially now that it's so nice and tidy.
Yeah.
If you wanna do that soon.
Right.
And Amelia found, she found cubicles, the partitions for cubicles on Craigslist in Phoenix.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
So, cause cubicles are really expensive,
They are super expensive.
so that was pretty cool, and they're in very good shape. Isn't that fun?
Should we add that tour to the next board agenda? How long would it take?
Happy to. 10, 15 minutes. Next meeting, I think we're back to just one thing at a meeting, so. Excuse me.
Let's wait until we do our clean out.
Good point. We are also going through and organizing a lot of our spaces, so might be the October or November
That's fine.
meeting.
Okay.
That
That's a
works.
good idea. Thanks for adding that, Damaris. Yeah, there is quite a stack of things back there with blue tape, which means we've been rid of it.
So the next on the agenda is the e-materials, and Amelia, that's your name.
That's me. Okay, let me actually. Alright, let me see if I can. Okay, can everyone see that? It looks like that can be seen.
Very snazzy.
E-materials at the library. So I'm just gonna talk basically about the who, what, why, when, 5 questions, 6 questions. Who our vendors are, what kind of options we have, and how that all works. So we have 2 e-material suppliers, Overdrive, and the app side of that you're probably more familiar with is Libby and Hoopla. And they offer ebooks, e-audios, and magazines are available from all of them. And then binge passes, movies, comics, music, and television are available through Hoopla only. Overdrive doesn't have those. The binge pass is you pick a set subject and then it's multiple titles about that subject. So I did a binge pass recently for Spanish books, like little kids Spanish books, because I'm trying to learn how to speak it. People access this all the time. These were just some, in the last month, some random examples of times that people are downloading audiobooks.
2
Or-
a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see those who grab them before they go to work maybe at 7 or when they get home at 5. And it's really throughout the whole state of Arizona. Of course, I listed all of our partner libraries, but there are several other partners who are part of that cooperative agreement that I was talking about a little bit earlier within the state of Arizona that I think Phoenix isn't one of those libraries. So my guess is that's what they're talking about, and they just haven't opted in to that. Katie online says the 2 a.m. might have been her. So here's some stats from our last fiscal year. Hoopla is on the left and Overdrive is on the right. I won't read all of these stats, but some of the unique things about this, so Hoopla, we had 25,000 checkouts last year. Now, the way Hoopla works is different from Overdrive or Libby. Hoopla, we pay as the person checks it out. So we might pay, on average, we pay $1.85 per title every time it's checked out. We had 6,000 unique users of that set of, and that's all-time users. We can't get set for a single year. Overdrive, on the other hand, had 103,000 checkouts, and these ones are the ones that we do, we purchase it for a set time or for all time, depending, and we have access to it and people check it out, generally one at a time, and we don't have to rebuy that every time someone checks it out. We had 8,000 unique users just last fiscal year for Overdrive. And they also allow for holds to be placed. You see how much that is. 47,000 is how much we spent on Hoopla. 83,000 is Overdrive, which averages to more $35 a title. But like I said, that's continual use. It's not single checkout.
Is Overdrive, like if one person checks it out, then you have to put it on hold like a physical book?
Yes. Generally speaking, they call it one copy, one user. And that is exactly what it is. It's not simultaneous use. If you have it checked out, then the thought is no one else can check it out until you're done.
But Hoopla, you could have multiple people.
Amelia, are there still publishers for the Overdrive that make us buy it again if there's 26 checkouts or something like that?
Yeah, so with Overdrive, there are a couple of different styles of material. So there's one copy, one user, which means as long as Overdrive holds the rights to that title, we have it in
Perpetuity.
Thank you. That word. We have it forever. And then there's others that are called metered access, and they're either 26 checkouts and then you have to buy it again, with the idea being, if you have a physical book, it can check out, 30, 40 times maybe, but it's gonna break down and you have to buy a new one anyway. And then there's also, if it's not limited by number of checkouts, it might be limited by months. You get it for 24 months or 2 years, and then you have to buy another copy. And the thing that a lot of people don't know about Libby, especially those titles, is an audiobook, an average popular audiobook costs us $95 to buy a copy of that and have it.
That seems expensive.
It's a very hot topic in libraries, and that's something that was actually, I went to ALA this year with Linda and a couple others from staff, and that was one of the sessions I attended was, what do we do? Because this is ridiculous, you know, especially if it's those metered access ones that you're having to rebuy every 2 years or every 26 checkouts if it's a popular title. Well, you know, we're in 2024, so I'm now reviewing everything from 2022 and 2020 and 2018 and seeing, are these titles we want to keep buying? And so that cost just keeps growing.
Also seems kind of labor intensive, is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is a very large cart that they send pretty much every 2 weeks to review and say, here's all your titles that are expiring, do you wanna rebuy them or not? And then you have to go and check, how much are they circulating, how much did they circulate in the last year maybe? Because it might have 100 circulations on it, but we've owned it for 6 years. So how many of those have happened recently, and do people still want this title? Or did it used to be popular and it isn't now? So yeah, it's definitely a labor intensive process.
Yeah.
Are the e-materials more popular than like the books?
I'd have to look at our numbers again. I don't think so yet. It can depend, yeah, this doesn't have those. You know, it just depends on the individual person. Some people solely do e-materials, and of those, some will only do audiobooks or only do ebooks. But that is something else we'll look at too, is, okay, we already own this on CD, in physical copy, and in ebook, we're not gonna buy the e-audio, you know? So that's all part of actually what goes into this selection process. And, you know, we do look at popular titles, patrons request, and sometimes the patron will request, you know, you have this, but I want it in this format. And, you know, we'll look at that and say, okay, well, there are 50 holds on that title, and we've maxed out the number of physical copies we're gonna buy, so yeah, let's get another e-material copy instead. So yeah. And this, of course, is one way that people can use their requests. Patrons get 12 requests a year, but that's for all materials, whether physical or e-material. Person can do all of their requests at a single time. If I wanted, I could just send all my 12, here's everything I want, but they're not gonna come back until this time next year.
When you mean a request, what, I'm confused there on what.
To add to the collection, like if you say, hey, why don't you guys buy
Why don't you guys
such and
buy a
such?
book, you can do 12 of
Yeah.
those, okay.
Yeah,
Is it 12 whether or not the library says yes?
it's
Like if-
12 regardless,
Okay.
yes. We can say, sorry, we can't get
Sure.
that, or it might be, that's already in our collection,
Oh,
and it still counts as one of your 12.
gotcha,
Because the system just automatically counts the requests.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Or they can be spread out throughout the year. You know, a lot of people kind of self-regulate and go, I get one a month, you know, and then that way they, oh, I want this one, and oh, I still have a request I can use this month. And so staff review the requests, looking at our collection development policy, and then buy it if we can. If not, we often send the request to ILL.
Interlibrary lounge.
Yes. And of course, if it's a physical material, we place the hold for the patron before it comes in. The e-material, we let the person do that themselves, because it'll often notify them automatically. Any other questions? Okay. I'm gonna keep sharing.
That's a good explanation. Thanks, Amelia.
One last question, Amelia. Do they cover, what do the ebooks, what platforms do they work on? Remind me.
Good question.
Like, are they Kindle or
Oh,
they
they're
Nook?
Kindle, they're EPUB,
Okay.
which I think can be opened by any of them.
Okay,
I think that's it.
So do you have to, I've only ever done things on Kindle, so I'm not super familiar with EPUB or any of those.
Yeah.
Are those separate apps? Do you have to get an EPUB app to read an EPUB book?
No, so you choose when you check one out, which way you wanna download it.
It used to be a mess to try and figure this out, but since the Libby app, it is so much easier. I've had lots of people tell me that, and I agree, using it myself, that Libby has made this whole process less crazy and less confusing than it used to be. It sounds like, you might have done it before
Yeah.
when it was still,
Yeah, me too.
I mean, when libraries first started using Overdrive,
Yeah.
it was an extremely convoluted process
Yeah.
to pull something up. I guarantee you, it's not as hard as it used to be. Now that there's that Libby app, it's
So
much better.
there,
So
if
say
you
you
don't-
were checking this one out.
Yeah.
You know, just come in here, check out from Libby,
Uh-huh.
enter your PIN, and it'll ask you, well, who you're checking it out for, and that's it. And then you can go into your checkouts. You get to see all my fun checkouts. It's thinking. There it is. So you can access it in Libby, or you can, there we go, select a format. So you can read it in your browser, you can download it, or you can just open it using your Libby app.
Okay,
So,
Thank you.
cool, so you can just read it in the browser. No
Yeah.
problem.
yeah. And now I'll turn it over to Jessica. We'll figure out how to make
Those fun photos.
I might not be able to make it bigger, it might just be this, that's okay.
Okay, well, I'm Jessica. I feel like maybe you've heard me do this presentation before.
Pretty sure.
You're pretty sure you have?
I think we have.
Okay, well, here we go again, friends. So I drive the Pals Mobile. You can see it up there. It's a bookmobile for kids. It's really geared towards little kids, 0 to 5. But the PAL stands for Preschoolers Acquiring Literacy Skills. And so you can see from the photo, there's a little kiddo getting a Cat in the Hat book about space, holding a cat in a hat. I was stuck in traffic out on the Navajo reservation while they were doing something to the road, so I took a picture out the window and some kids reading. So,
Go ahead, yes.
So I just put together a few things for you. This year, the Pals Mobile traveled just over 3,000 miles.
Wow.
And made 44 new library cards. But I can tell you in August, I've already made 25 new library cards. So next year when I present,
Wow.
it's even higher. And we checked out 11,000 books. So we're small but mighty. This year we also grew some of our relationships. You can see the picture of the Navajo Taco, and this lady in the picture is a teacher at the Cameron Head Start. And usually at the Cameron Head Start, they'll also include parents and caregivers and have meals because they're also dealing with some food scarcity, and so they also can pick up packages of foods and things there. We also this year expanded our network. We added 2 new locations. We went to FACE, which is Family and Children Education in Loop, and we added Elevate Preschool, which is a low-income preschool here in Flagstaff. And that picture is one I took on the way home from an evening event at the Loop School. It was such a pretty sunset, yeah. So we go far and wide. We serve the city and the county.
That's some nice co-branding there. Parenting with the people getting out there.
Yeah. We also attend a lot of outreach events. Here's a list of some of the places that we went this past year. This picture on the bottom left, you can see the adult reading a book. He had 1 kid, and then all these other kids just started sitting on his lap and joining, like total stranger kids. But he was reading them a story. And then that girl sitting in the back on the bench, I've known her since she was 2, and she's now in 2nd grade.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
she was really excited to see me and come on board, and she said, I know right where the princess books are. And so then she got her old favorites and sat and read. She read for like 2 hours just sitting there reading books.
Wow.
Yeah. And then this is the Pals Mobile at an event called Concert in the Park that happens every Wednesday here in Flagstaff. We go to all of those. Last year I bought this giant Connect 4, which is super popular. Everybody loves playing with that. And I usually lay out a mat and put out some crafts. So there's a little bit inside, a little bit outside. I'll put out some free books and free toiletry items, and then people can also get a library card made and come on board. This is my coworker, Alyssa, in the top right. We went to a pirate event, so we both had to dress like pirates.
Where's the concert in the park? Which park?
There are parks throughout
Oh,
the
I
city
see.
and county. That
Gotcha.
particular picture is Tree Park, also called Jim Cullen Park in Coconino Estates neighborhood, really close to here. But we went to one at Doney Park, we went to one at Kachina, we went to one at Mobile Haven Park, we went to a couple at Bushmaster. Yeah, we went to, often the Palsmobiles and some parades, like the holiday parade or the 4th of July parade, and this year went to the Pride Parade. And these little kiddos, they told me all about their Bakugan guys. After our story time at Bushmaster Park over the summer, they told me about those guys for like 10 minutes. They had a lot to say. So if you don't know Bakugan, it's popular and it's back. So this year, we also keep track of for the state statistics. So it's a pretty precise number, but we had, almost 4,000 people on board and over 4,000 people in our different story times we do. So you can see there's a picture of me with 2 preschool classes and, some kids reading on board. It's pretty sweet. So we also, this past year, visited 24 different places. Head Starts, preschools, daycares, a variety of places. 6 of them were in the county and 18 of them were in the city. Yeah, pretty cute, huh?
The pictures.
Yeah, so during the school year, we visit the schools. We'll go once a month, pretend we're like at your school, we'll go the first Monday, do a story time. The kids come on board, pick out 1 to 3 books they want to check out and take home. Or sometimes the teachers, like in this picture, just have them sit there and read the book on board, because some kids have permission to take it home and some don't. Or sometimes a teacher will put all the books on their card and keep them in the classroom. So it just depends on the place and how they like to run it. So for the next little part, I'll just give you some quotes that people shared this past season, because at the end I always ask for feedback and information. So here's some quotes that people have shared. This one was from a preschool teacher. They like the different ways the stories are told, singing songs, learning stories, and they leave with a better understanding of the literature. This top picture is at the Loop Public Preschool. And these 2 kids had to show off their Lego creations and tell their stories. So part of our mission is to reach the kids, but also everyone in their household by extension, and also all the teachers, admin, and staff at the schools to help model, what can a story time look like and how we can help support them in their work they're doing day in, day out. Here's a parent comment. The children really look forward to picking out their own books. It's an opportunity to share with them the fun of going to the library. Yeah, they're pretty sweet, huh? You'll have to keep me on track with time, because I think I have the best job in the library and I could talk about it all day long. So here we've got a teacher that says how much the kids love their Palsmobile and how they get to engage using different themes and songs and books and games for all language levels for the 3 to 5-year-olds. I'll just inundate you with cute kid pictures. Thanks for this Palsmobile service. It engages the young readers and helps promote fun early literacy. This is at the Gap Head Start. These kids, the teacher there in the pink shirt checks them all out on her personal card so that they can look at books all month long. And that other teacher sitting down reading to the kids, she's the Cameron Head Start teacher, and she'll bring all the kids on board and share with them, read with them, and then just a few get to take books home because just a few have library cards.
Do they wait until you come back around to turn them in?
Yes, often, but they can absolutely return them in the libraries, in the drop boxes at either library in town, and they come back to me. But often they do return them right then and there at the school. Okay. As you can see, a couple more pictures of kids reading books, and then this one school I come up to, as I pull up, I go through or next to their playground area, and they're always playing outside right when I come up, and then they start chanting, Palsmobile, 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 and they like line up to the fence and push their face right against the fence. It's adorable. So I tried to get a picture one time when I pulled up, but it's pretty great to go everywhere and
As good as the ice cream truck.
I mean, it really is. Next I'll talk about just a couple projects I'm working on and different supports going on. So I would say one of my biggest challenges and where I get the most help and support is with time and staffing. We have a wait list. We wish we could go everywhere to every school in the entire county, and it's just, not possible. But this year I do have a volunteer. She's a retired school teacher. So she helps me shelve my books, and you can see like in that one picture, one of the carts fell over. And thankfully she was there and helped me get them all back sorted. I do have 3 other staff members that each do one location a month, so that helps spread it out just a little bit more. But yeah, one of our biggest struggles to not be able to get everywhere is just our time, our ability to get places. It's our most, finite resource. Yeah. And this year we're really honing in a little tighter on our Palsmobile mission to reach the 3 to 5-year-olds. So sadly, I am cutting a couple baby and toddler story times that I had been going to, and a couple kindergarten and first grades, because I just don't have enough time to do it all. So I wish I had a whole department. I wish I had more vehicles. I wish I had, could do the whole county, but what can you do? We can just do what we can do. And that's my upcoming schedule for this next school year that's about to start up. I'm also working on a project in my collection. One of our catalogers in the back and has been helping me with this. We've changed the way we're cataloging a few of our books. So for example, these used to be cataloged by author, but now it's by superhero. So that makes it way easier for the kids to find. This one used to be by author, and I had a couple different authors, and now it's just Pete the Cat. This one's just now Star Wars. This one's just now Lego. But she also helped me change the nonfiction books so that the label goes the other direction, up and down. So it's way easier to shelve. You usually here, if you look downtown, it wraps all the way around. And it's, anyway, it's like a million times easier to do it this way. So she labeled everything for us. Yeah, really great. She worked super hard. Her name is Brent. If you see her, tell her good work. I'm also working on updating our CD book kits. I don't know if you remember those, but they are like often in a plastic bag. It's the book that comes with the CD, and then it'll read it to you. Back in the day, we used to have them on cassette tapes, Yeah. But nobody has CDs anymore, and nobody has cassette tapes anymore. So I'm moving towards what's called a portable media player, which is what this teacher in the yellow shirt is holding. And that is, I guess I didn't bring my book. That's like this. So when you open it up, you can turn it on.
Nice.
And then you just push play. And then you can either have it read it out loud to you, it'll be like ding, turn the page. And then you can switch it into question mode. What did you learn about this story?
Wow.
What color did you like? That kind of stuff. You can also do it with headphones in case you want to do it somewhere quietly, like in the classroom. So this is like a more modern technology, replacing that slowly.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know if
thank
you guys can see that online, but over here in this corner,
Yeah.
Is Wonder Book the only one that makes those?
No, there's also Playaway.
Playaway does it too, okay.
Yeah.
The other ones mean the one you used to wear.
Yeah.
wear the little
Yes.
Gadget.
Yeah.
So they're doing this now too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I special ordered these, and then like a month later, they're now available through our regular vendor. But you know, I'll keep going. These are, like Amelia was talking about, actually quite expensive books.
That's it.
Yeah. And then I just charge them up on my computer when they get returned because they run on battery like that. I'm also
How much
working.
does one of those cost?
This is about $65.
Wow.
Yeah. And just a regular book is about 20.
Do you ever request those from friends or foundation?
I haven't.
That might be really
But
a
I would.
fun thing to tell them about and,
Yeah.
and ask for.
Yeah, note to self.
Maybe you could get people in the community to buy a book, put their name
Ooh.
on a book plate in the front. or
Yeah,
something.
I like it.
I'd buy a book.
You buy a book? Yeah, thanks. Another project I'm working on the Pathmobile is different genres. You can see that little paper in there, like pets have a blue sticker. Things about dragons, dinosaurs, princesses have a yellow sticker. Things with like a fire engine has a green sticker. Things about, there's a pet with a blue sticker. I'm working on that because I'm often by myself on there with about 20 kids. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, and they are asking for a lot of overlapping things. So now I'll be able to say, just look for the blue sticker, it has pets, because I will help everyone just slowly, eventually, yeah. So that's a project I'm working on this year that I'm in the middle of.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, thank you. And then I've been working on this diversity audit for a couple years. I just keep on plugging away. I'm not sure if you've seen this infographic before in the bottom left corner here that says diversity in children's books. Have you seen that before? Okay, I'll give you a minute to just look at it then, because it's pretty informative. Yeah, if you can make it bigger, that'd be awesome.
Doesn't want to let me scroll here.
There we go. So this is, of course, from 2018. It's talking about the characters in the book, not the author, not the illustrator. What do you see as a kid when you're looking at this book? Only 1% as in Native Americans, First Nation. Only 5% are Latinx. Only 7% are Asian Pacific Islander. Only 10% African American. 27% about animals, and 50% white characters. It is, I'm not sure if you've heard this is a very library thing to talk about. I'm not sure if you've heard about mirrors and windows, but the philosophy is some books you read are mirrors. You see yourself, where you live, how your life is, things you're struggling with, and some are windows. It's an opportunity to look into a culture that's different than yours, a race that's different, an experience that's different. Maybe you don't live in an apartment, but it is really important that kids can see their own selves in these books. So that's why I'm very methodically and carefully working on this diversity audit and making really careful choices to really represent the people of Coconino County with what books we show and have on board for our kids. So that's, yeah, thanks. It's a long-term, ongoing project, but it is a passion.
But it's really at the publishing level
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
It's because I think what your graphic said was that's what's published.
exactly.
Okay.
That's what was published that year in 2018.
So then it's hard to really diversify the library if it's not out there.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, you can to
Yeah.
a certain degree, but yeah, you have to, what's
Yeah.
published is what you have to choose from too.
Yeah, for sure. And just a few other things I'm working on. I think I just personally believe so much in continuing education. I just completed my Library support staff certificate, thank you. I took classes for a few years and I went to the Summer Library Institute, but the one I would love to tell you about the most is called AVOS. It's Association of Bookmobile and Outreach Services. And this last October, almost a year ago, I was able to go to the national conference and it was so meaningful. I learned a lot because doing Bookmobile is such a unique, individualized experience, and to hear the way people run it all over the country and to really speak with peers about like, how do we do this? I mean, it was fantastic, and I hope I get to go again someday. And they have an online, you can just join like virtually, and I really hope I get to do that this coming year too.
It's annual.
It's annual, yeah, this year's in Indianapolis, and last year was in Pennsylvania. Yeah, but you can do the virtual one for like, I don't know, pennies of the cost. Yeah, so I hope that will work out because I learned so much and I'm so thrilled to bring it, back into the community. I'm also so pleased and lucky that Friends of the Library and the Library Foundation both gave money to me this year. One of the ways I'm using the money, I'm in the middle of it, is for teacher bags. You can see in this picture on the right by the lanterns, there's these black and red bags, and I brought one with me. There's tons of these bags on board the Pals Mobile, and it's only for preschool teachers to check out. And they have different themes, like maybe alphabet or bears or community support or, the different seasons. And inside the bags are 6 books on that theme that have been selected. But I'm working hard this year to update them a little bit, include some more BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color authors and illustrators, maybe some updated themes, add some more like flannels. And I want to make a library style story time handout so that if they want to do, these are the songs I would sing, these are the finger plays I would do with this is the flannel and how I would do it, so that they can easily do it in their own classrooms and have some support, because some of them are just really, it's the Wild West. Some of them are out there on their own, Yeah, so as much as we can do to help them out. Yeah. And also, of course, I this year got funding for some book giveaways. I often will get discarded or donated books, but these ones were brand new books that kids got to pick and take home and show their families and read. And this was an outreach event I was at, and we had a craft for them to do to make their own little necklace and pick out free books. I also sometimes use these funds to do things like maybe a water bottle that says the library's name on it, or maybe bubbles are on there. And sometimes they're toiletry items, like there's a thermometer, some shampoo, some toothbrush. Those are the most popular toothbrushes. So thanks for listening and letting me brag about my job, which is really the best one in the whole library.
I don't know how you have time for the projects.
Well, thanks for saying that. That's part of the thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Get all
Fit
that
it
in
in
your
around
packed
the corner.
schedule of where you're going.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
That was
that's awesome.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and then Damaris? Did she cover it all? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, because Damaris' name is on here.
Yeah.
So the bookmobile, I guess.
Yeah, at the time it was put, we thought we might have the bookmobile driver, but they're
Are we still looking?
coming in
Still no.
September, mid-September? Mid-September, we'll have a bookmobile driver.
Very cool.
So maybe next year we'll have a presentation from them.
Or we could tell them to give a presentation, after they've been here a day or two.
I did it to you.
We'll let Jessica do hers first and then say, can you match that?
So is the bookmobile driver the only person in they also have to do like what you do with the books?
Well, the idea that we're using for the bookmobile, especially since it goes so remotely, is that we're gonna be looking to have other staff on board with one other staff member. Is that correct, Damaris? Still the plan? Okay, yeah.
Be scary if you got broken down somewhere and you're it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gosh.
yeah, I think that's the idea, that we wanna have someone else on board. The other thing that's gonna be, not yet, but going to be an issue for both the Palsmobile and the Bookmobile down the road is they're currently stored in a city-owned building over kind of on Mogollon Street, a warehouse, I think they call it a warehouse, but that's gonna potentially be raised for a big redo of recreation facilities. And it's gonna become a basketball court,
Yeah, it's part of Thorpe Park.
Thorpe Park.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have to find a place to put bookmobiles, you can't leave bookmobiles outside. So. So if anybody has a bookmobile warehouse, just, or you know somebody that does, that would be good information. We have also let the county officials know that that's kind of something down the road that we're gonna be running across.
All right, so the next two things are action items. The first is the vice chair vote, and whether or not anybody has found it in their heart to volunteer to be the vice chair. I plan on being here 95% of the time. If I'm not here, it's gonna be a rarity. So probably it's not gonna entail a lot, but we were talking before the meeting started, Amelia does most of the legwork leading up to it. Yeah, I mean, really the only thing that I do before the meeting is just kind of review the agenda and let her know that everything's good and not to add anything. I mean, occasionally I'll question, but not very often, so does anybody want to take that on and we can nominate you and put you in there?
I can try to, but.
Okay.
Yay, good job being
I
brave.
didn't volunteer last time, so I thought, oh, maybe I should do it this time.
It's pretty
Cool.
easy.
Yeah, thank you.
It seems like I can,
Yeah.
from the minutes, and
Yes.
once I have to do anything, the whole.
But as I showed at the beginning of the meeting, I'm not very good at that. So,
I'll volunteer.
okay, so Lisa has said she would be the vice chair. Do we have any other folks that are interested?
It would only be Katie.
So, okay, then
Do we need to nominate her?
we need to nominate her.
I'll do it. I'll nominate Lisa Gainey as the vice chair.
And then I will need somebody to second that. Which is,
I can send that.
okay, thank you. And so we have a nomination for Lisa Gainey to be the vice chair, and I will, now I'll entertain the vote for that. So all those in favor of Lisa being the vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. And do we have any opposed? Okay, hearing none, you are now the vice chair. Thank you for stepping up. And we also need a foundation liaison. I'm not sure what that entails. Does someone know what that entails? Either Amelia or Linda?
I know Corey did it before.
Is it a meeting you have to go to or?
Yeah, but it's not, it's only
Quarterly?
yeah, there aren't very many meetings, because I go to those too.
Yeah.
Are they here at the library?
Right here, this room.
I'll volunteer. If it just means going to a meeting and.
And then just sharing anything that needs to come back to the board from that.
Oh, okay.
So,
suppose somebody will get in touch with me or let me know when to show up.
Yeah, we'll make sure that
We'll share your
Nat Light is
information.
the president of the board and our chair, and we'll give him your contact info.
We need to nominate and vote on this one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I nominate from the chair's seat?
You can't motion, I don't think.
Okay,
I'll nominate Catherine Moore for the foundation liaison position.
all right, we have a nomination for Catherine Ward to be our liaison to the Library Foundation, so I'll need a second.
That would be Katie.
I'm happy to second that.
Okay. Thank you. And, okay, so we'll vote on that now. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think we got a 2-for-1 there.
Extra vote.
We got an extra vote there. It's pretty good when you get one more vote than we have members. All right, so good, that was productive. Okay,
Question,
sir.
what's the update on the vacancies for the board, the 2 people we're still looking for?
Okay, yeah, so the county has, appointed one person that applied, and they just have to be sworn in, and they also have to take a class from the city.
Just
To
a
be
quick
on board?
training.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then, there is another one, but not appointed yet.
Someone else expressed interest and was sent the information. I don't know if they went ahead and applied or not. But, yeah, Sarah Schumann is the person who has been appointed by the board. She took Corey's position, so it runs through January 1st of 2025. So she'll have to, if she wants to continue, reapply at that time.
And that's the county person.
Yes, one of
Are
2.
you guys gonna continue advertising like on, I saw on Instagram a few times?
Yes,
As an
until
ad.
it's filled.
Yeah.
Well, and we have signs at the desks, and I believe we have them out at the, like, Tuba City and Grand Canyon libraries as well, in case anyone from that area of the county wanted to participate.
All right, for agenda for future meetings, we have the director's report. Library Foundation and Friends will be next time. And then we'll find a date to do the tour of the room back here. And then our next meeting is September 26th. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay. I will entertain a motion to end the meeting.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
We have the motion and the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
And that adjourns the meeting. Thank you all.
Hmm.